Yeah, it's an old traditional song. I think it comes from England or somewhere over the pond originally, but was adapted over the generations and locations in the country. But it was a song that a lot of the Texans brought up to Montana, and we hear it a lot in the Western films these days. You know, but with a little bit more of a happier cadence. But I think it's a song that resonates kind of a sad message, so or more somber message at the least. So I like to play it the way I thought maybe someone would have played it back in the day. I'm a roundup cowboy, horses my home. Girls that don't like me can leave me alone. I'll tune up my fiddle, I'll rosin my bow, make myself welcome wherever I go. Rye whiskey, I cry. If I don't get rye whiskey, I surely will die. My horses ain't hungry, they don't eat your hay. So fare thee well, Annie, I'm a-going away. Your parents don't like me, say I'm too poor, say I'm unworthy, and you adore. Rye whiskey, I cry. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely will die. Way up on Swan Mountain, I'm on my own. I'm drunk as the devil, so leave me alone. Rye whiskey, you're no friend to me. You killed my poor daddy, now you try me. Rye whiskey, I cry. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely will die. Rye whiskey, I cry. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely will die. I've been writing songs for as long as I can remember, but I think I didn't take it very seriously or even consider it anything at all until I was probably about 16. But even then, I never really tried to make a living off of it. I just tried to tell the story from my perspective. Often my songwriting is from interpersonal, or maybe people around me. Maybe I can reflect the story from somebody in my life, but for the most part, it's from my perspective. It's kind of a unique origin story for myself because on one hand I was born around agriculture, but it wasn't always my life. Like high school, I was a skateboard kid. I was living a pretty typical middle class American life in high school, but I don't think that was necessarily the direction that I found myself wanting to go in. For whatever reason, I enjoyed agriculture and that exposure I had to that at a young age, and so I kind of had a full circle moment when I got out and chased horsemanship and ranching and yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a normal path. A lot of people see like the ranching world, or they see these legacy ranches and assume you have to be from some big legacy agricultural family or born and raised in it to pursue it. But I don't think that's the truth. I think no matter where you're from, if you put in the work and try and contribute to the culture you're a part of, that you'll earn a place. It might be a longer road for you, but I think it can be more fulfilling, at least in that regard. That's my story. I didn't grow up on some big cowboy outfit as a kid. I just had a passion for the culture and tried to work hard at finding a place to fit in. Jericho Sessions is coming out, and it's a partnership with Western Landowners Alliance. They're a private land conservation group that centers around conservation amongst the West, from Montana all the way clear down to the Southwest. The proceeds will be going to benefiting their fundraiser and spreading awareness on what private land conservation means to the West, what it means to the environment, to agriculture, to the economy, and to the overall community of these open spaces that we love. As we sit here in beautiful Red Lodge here, this land is so sacred, and people always have this attachment, this allurement to be here. And with that comes a risk of losing the thing we love, overpopulating or changing the environment. And it's a delicate ecosystem here. We need to make sure that it stays here. And for the ranchers, for the wildlife, for the local communities that are here, and for the tourists that love to come and enjoy it as well.
This life that I lead breeds heartache, but through heartache this life I afford. For I'd rather lay in the wind and the rain than with her, for she loves me no more. With each passing day breeds sorrow, but through sorrow I'd gladly pay for cattle to lead through the hills and the streams, and an honest summer's wage, an honest summer's wage. Though I am young, I grow older, and though I am green, I will age. And this life that I yearn will take in return a love I cannot replace. And when I grow old and weary, to my master I will pray for cattle to lead through the hills and the streams, and an honest summer's wage, an honest summer's wage.
I think authenticity is kind of a word that gets thrown around a lot, and I think authenticity can show itself in different forms. Maybe one artist is more relatable from a personal standpoint, or another artist may have a more romantic artistry, but the message could be conveyed in an authentic way. So authenticity is kind of nuanced, if you ask me, and I appreciate when people consider me authentic. I appreciate that sentiment. I think that there are often times it's hard to do as an artist. You try to portray who you want to become, not who you are in that moment, and there's kind of there is that friction, I think, oftentimes. And it takes a while for artists to find their sound and who what their story is, and that refinement, I think, only happens through personal, thought and writing and finding your own story outside of just playing music. A lot of times people focus so much on just the music but not the living, and so I like to write songs that are based on my life or my life experiences, or maybe even play other people's songs that I think draw resemblance to my life or I find value in. So there's authenticity in that. I didn't write the song, but I can relate to the message. I don't really like to view songs, necessarily as covers or originals in a way. At least in the folk camp or the country camp or what roots camp, whatever you have it, songs are shared, melodies are shared, lyrics are shared. They always have been, and I don't think you could truly be a good folk singer without listening to the folks that came before you and extrapolating some value out of it, and honestly just saturating yourself in the people that came before you. I think it'd be very hard to come out of the womb and write music without any real deep dive into where it is that music comes from and what are the fundamental features of those songs. So I don't necessarily look at them as covers, because someone wrote them, but they don't own them. The song exists, it's larger than the artist. So if Norman Blake writes a song, Norman Blake can do his version of it, which will be different in different stages of his life and will be different than the version that I decide to sing or any other contemporary. So the message is always different depending on the context and the artist. So I hope that's not too deep or heady, but I'm proud to play songs that were written by the people that came before me and share them and continue them. That's what folk community is. That's what folk culture is.
$15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randall Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. Rolling dice by the railroad yard won't get you too much jack. Working on that section game will surely break your back. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randall Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. Hiding out by the water tower where the shade is cool, watching that straw boss hunt for me like ain't nobody's fool. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randall Collins is my name, the state of Arkansas. They're making up a train in the Memphis yard, the longest I ever saw. Gonna ride it down to Fairfax town in the state of Arkansas. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randall Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randall Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas.